So we're heading into an age of context where we're going to wear wearable computers, whether it's the Google Glass or the Apple Watch or Samsung Watch or something coming out soon. And you're going to want to know things about the world you're in. Now that works great outside where you have GPS, but inside, like in a mall or an airport or something like that, the GPS doesn't work all that accurately. So there's all sorts of new companies who are coming out that let us do this indoor positioning, and Meridian is one of them. I'm really happy to have them as one of my first interviews with this Google Glass on, because we're going to talk about this new world and what the innovation is going to be needed to make it all work. Who are you?
Jefferom Hardisson, Vice President of Meridian, and I love location-based services. Fell in love with the space about 7 years ago, before it was where it is today. And I was over in Australia working with Amazon Web Services, doing some developer relations, and met some people who were doing some early kind of location-based services. You'd walk around the town and learn more about the world around you, and now I get to work for a company doing that.
That's really cool. When you get these Google Glasses, you realize how early a day it is, because when I got to a casino in Vegas, I started thinking about, could I ask for show me the sushi restaurant nearby, or tell me where the power outlets, where are the bathrooms? Tell me. It doesn't know any of that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm hoping to see companies like yours evolve to give me data, give these glasses data, so that I can ask those kinds of questions in the future. Is that where it's all going?
That's exactly where it's going. So what we do is we have a enterprise software platform that basically taps into whatever data you can provide or type of device you have. So we would love to be working with Google Glass. Today we work mainly with smartphones and tablets, but that's because that's what people are using today. And then we just get the data from the location. It could be from the device, and then we tap in all kinds of databases to provide the context that you really want.
Yeah. So what is it that you guys do, and why do I need you and not Google? Because Google has these great maps outside. They drive cars down the street, and they know pretty much everything I want to know about outside the building. Why do I need this inside a casino or a mall or an airport, something like that? And what is it that Meridian does?
So we personally love Google Maps outdoors. We use it all the time. And what's interesting about Google Maps indoors is that they're going into the venues themselves, and they're saying, hey,
with
venues,
a little ball to take a picture. I saw a guy at one of the conferences that was doing it, and it has, there's various devices that take the pictures and sort of let them map the indoor. We did it at Rackspace, right?
Yeah.
You can actually walk around our headquarters because somebody walked through with one of these devices.
Exactly. And so Google's actually helping get people interested in the space, because they go in and they say, we'll take your maps, then we'll put them in our own Google Maps app. And what the venues say was, well, I'm Macy's, I want my app to have maps. And Google says, well, that's not what our maps are for. So we'll actually hear from companies like Macy's or from the Venetian Casino, and they'll come to us after they work with Google Maps to say, we want a similar experience, but we want it in our app with our colors, our brand, our products, etc.
Well, that's one of the things I expect to do with these glasses is walk in a Bloomingdale's or a Macy's or something and say, hey, show me where the men's jeans are, because the Bloomingdale's in New York is 5 stories tall, and figuring out where things are is really difficult if you don't shop there very often, right? So that's the first thing. The first impulse is, where's the thing I need to get, right?
Exactly.
And there's no answer. There's no answer on my phone either. How do you guys help a Bloomingdale's or a retailer like that provide that answer, I guess?
Yeah, so what we do is we provide this enterprise software platform where...
You might poke through it and show us sort of...
Yeah,
what are we looking at there? What's on the screen?
So what we see right here is this is a map of the Venetian Casino, and they give us their CAD drawings, they upload those into the map, and then our system will scrub out all of the kind of unnecessary architectural information and then mix it into a vector graphic. So you can pinch and zoom the map like you like to do with Google Maps outdoors. And then they can drop in little pins to represent points of interest. So this is a restaurant, or this might be a bathroom. And then our system quickly calculates the shortest turn-by-turn directions to wherever you want to go. Right?
Very cool. So do you put, this is actually a place where people can walk? Because casino is pretty confusing.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite look like this when you're at 2 in the morning walking through it.
Right.
There's a lot of noise and a lot of, they really don't make it easy to walk around these things because they want you to sit down and start gambling. Right?
Exactly.
Do you actually go around with a ball or something like that, or a traffic flow meter to study how people move through these kinds of indoor spaces? Or?
So one of the things we wanted this to be was really scalable. We wanted to be able to roll it out to lots of venues really quickly, and Google goes in manually and walks around. What we do is we just simply allow the customer to have a license to this software, and then they upload their own maps, and then we convert them. We don't even have to ever visit the venue.
Okay.
We like to, but we don't have to.
Yeah.
So it will upload them, and then our system will, there's an algorithm that will calculate the shortest path, and then they can draw little paths that you're allowed to walk. And what's great is that with maps, you know, say that Google maps your place in January. Well, if you're a retailer, that's going to change in March. Yeah. You're going to have to go back to Google and say, hey, Google, can you make this map change? We allow them to make that change right here in the system on their own. Yeah,
because things move around, particularly in retailers. They might move the men's clothing department down to even a different floor.
Yeah.
By the way, can you properly show multiple floors on this thing? Because lots of buildings have, you know, I don't know. I've been in buildings with 100 floors, right? So
yeah.
Can I walk from floor to floor and see that as well?
Absolutely. Okay. So you can go upstairs, elevators, and so forth. The other cool thing is that you can go into the system and you can actually add right here your device. So one of the other things that we have besides this system that makes a pretty app or improves the app you have is we're the only company that has been certified by one of the major Wi-Fi vendors. So Cisco actually integrated our software into their latest version of their Wi-Fi hardware software. And they just launched that in February.
Go back to the map, because that's really important, I think. Do you track where the Wi-Fi hotspots are in a space?
So,
or other wireless devices? Because if you do know where the Wi-Fi spots are, you can do really accurate indoor positioning, right?
Exactly. So what we do is, you know, back in 2009, Mayor Bloomberg gave us a lot of money, together with Cisco and Accenture, to build the first indoor GPS experience in the world. And it was on the iPhone, and it was at the American Museum of Natural History. And what we did was we tapped into the network, the actual Cisco Wi-Fi, triangulate 3 access points. And there's this device that hardly anybody knows about, but it's really important. It's called the real-time location server. Okay. And what it will do is it will grab all that data, and there's tons of location data. Imagine the cloud process and all that. Grabs all that data from the access points, and then sends it to our secure location engine, and then we process it and do something cool with it, like put a little glowing blue dot on an iPhone map, or be able to send a notification depending on where you're standing indoors.
Oh, that's really cool. That's sort of where the advertisers are hot and bothered about these glasses. Now, Google says no advertising is allowed on here, but I think we're heading into a commerce-based world where we want to ask it questions. Where's the closest tequila bar, man? I'm in Vegas. I want to go drink it, right? Or,
exactly.
You know, where do I get a T-shirt? Where do I get, you know, I don't have any shirts. I need a shirt. Or where do I go and get a toothbrush? You know, and all that stuff is going to be navigated right in your glass, right?
Exactly.
It's an interesting world. There's a bunch of competitors in this space. I think Apple just bought one.
Wi-Fi Slam. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you see the space overall, and how do you guys fit in this? What's your differentiator, I guess?
Right. So historically, most of the startups in the space, including bigger companies like Google Maps and Doors, only did the glowing blue dot that everybody wants. It's like GPS indoors. Only did on Android. And it's because they all did everything at the device level. So it was like the accelerometer in the phone. If you'd move the phone, it could help position you. We were the only company that was taking a network Wi-Fi hardware-based approach. And the reason is that Apple historically doesn't allow you to do the same things that Android does, right? It's less open. So you couldn't get the glowing blue dot on the map. So we were just receiving calls saying, we know you guys know how to do it. Can we use your SDKs and so forth? So that's kind of one differentiator, is we can do it both iPhone and Android. Now, that might raise the question, what's Apple going to do with Wi-Fi Slam? Because they do an Android-based approach. We don't know. We think that maybe if Wi-Fi Slam were to open up its data, we'd love to use that too. But today, our system is agnostic. It works across all the platforms, and we have this helpful to use software platform where you can control the look and feel of the app, which is really important to retailers and Venetian and so forth.
Well, I think this product is really going to change the expectations that people have when they walk into a place. Right. And you're going to want to talk to it and just see a simple, you know, take a right, take a left, go straight, a little map maybe, you know, maybe a little picture. very simplistic UI because it's not a very complex. It's not a very high resolution monitor. It's sharp, but it's not high resolution. It's not like looking at your iPad, right?
Right.
But when you're going to Vegas, you're not carrying your iPad around. You know, you have one of these on maybe, or a simple phone in front of you, right?
Yeah.
So
we definitely think that's where the world's going, and so then we would have to basically integrate our system with Google's APIs for that.
Yeah, everything here is SDK'd, so I can build new kinds of apps that would talk to this map and pull pieces of data or navigation paths out, right?
Exactly. So like the Venetian, they didn't have an app, so they used our WYSIWYG editor here to build an app. It's as easy for an intern to use. And then Macy's, who already had an app, and other retailers, they say, we just want your SDKs for mapping and the blue dot on the map. I can actually show you a video of how the blue dot works if we can take a look at it.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
If you got, how long is the video?
It's just a couple seconds long.
Yeah, let's see it. Pull it up. Are you going to pull it up here? Or,
pull it up. So you can see right here, there's the glowing blue dot. That's an iPhone, and it's right next to this restaurant called Fix within a hotel.
Yep.
And I'm standing right next to Fix. That's how good the proximity can get, right? So our differentiator is we're the first people to do iPhone and Android, glowing blue dot, and we can provide you a system to change the maps and the look and feel whenever you like.
That's cool, because as you walk by that Fix, Fix could, particularly if you have glass, if I'm looking at Fix, then all of a sudden it could put a menu up or an offer. Hey, come in right now, you get 2 for 1
exactly
shots, or something like that.
Yeah.
And this world of context, is really going to change over the next 5 years, because that Fix is really going to know who I am as a customer. They're going to know that I like Scotch whiskey, and that I like Skrillex music, and they're going to know a little bit about me, and they're going to give me offers to impel me to come in that are very personalized and very contextual, right?
Yeah.
And wow.
Well, you bring up a really great point, and that's that this stuff is really hard to provide context around. So imagine you're a retailer. Not only will I need to know what your preferences are, Robert likes this brand of shoes, and so we should send him offers about that. But you're also going to need to be able to tie into the inventory management database, because the shoe might be out of stock. You're going to need to know, has that shoe moved in the store? So that's another database. And so that's one issue around providing context. The other issue is around detecting where you're standing.
Yep.
And that historically indoors has been a really hard thing to attack, and we're just now figuring it out as an industry.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about all the iterative steps that are going to happen over the next 5 years. Companies like yours are going to get us a big chunk of the way there, and then you're going to build on all sorts of services.
Yeah.
Like if you know I'm in Fix, which is a cocktail place, now I can order cocktails and say, hey, can you deliver me a Manhattan? And they'll bring it right to you because they know where you are.
Exactly. Exactly.
You're at table 14, right? And they'll have a map of their own and say, oh, there's a customer there who wants a cocktail. We'll go over and serve them.
Totally. The one big thing.
There's already apps in San Francisco that are starting to do this,
Order from where I'm sitting, and
and there's apps like eBay now that'll bring you, if I need an Apple power supply, it'll bring it to me in an hour, right? Because it knows I'm here. It doesn't quite know within 15 feet, but it knows enough.
Yeah.
And we're starting to see this new commerce-based world evolve into a new thing that we just didn't expect, right?
Well, one of the things I think we have to help the consumer really get comfortable with is sharing their location, right? So we took great pains to build our system so that we would make it so that you could completely opt out of being able to share your location if you want. So if you go into a store and it has our system, you don't have to get the glowing blue dot. You don't have to share your location to get that. But if you want to receive coupons based on your 10th visit to that store and we automatically detect you, you need to share your location, right? So we think increasingly people are going to get more comfortable with location-based services if they get something in return. Yep,
absolutely. I think you're going to get a lot in return, because if they know where you are and if you know where they are, you can do commerce. You can have that drink delivered to you, and that'll be a cool feature. Instead of having to go wait at the bar in line at the bar. How much does this cost? How much, if Rackspace wanted to put this into their mall? How much does it cost to buy this or use it? What's the?
Well, there's different pricing models depending on what kind of level of app you want, but let's just pretend that you wanted to do just this one building and you wanted to use our SDK. Say you already had a Rackspace app. On the low end, it's like a license for our software is $12,000 per year for the low end for one location. Yeah. If you start to roll out to additional retail stores and so forth, the price goes up. You know, there's other variables, but at the low end, you could get in for about $12,000 per year.
Okay. So at Macy's is $12,000.
They're more than that because they had some extra stuff involved, but they were definitely for one store was very affordable for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not for putting it into your house yet. It still is. You know, even Rackspace wouldn't do it for this office. We might think about it for our headquarters because getting around our headquarters, we have a 1.1 million square foot mall where our headquarters is. We have 4,000 employees there. Getting around and finding a conference room is a pain in the butt.
Totally.
And we've already built some apps to help you move around, but this would take it to the next level, right?
Totally. So Intel Corporate Campus, they used our software to make an app just like that. Okay. So they built an app, and you can search for a conference room and see if it's available, and then be able to book it right from your phone. Yeah. Right.
So we're not going to see a lot of these indoor maps quickly for a lot of other like airports. They might go, we don't want to pay that. You know, it'll happen in retail first and malls, that kind of thing.
You know where it's really happening that no one even knows is hospitals. So hospitals have huge wayfinding problems because the buildings were built over, say, 100 years. You'd have one building that was 1901 and another one was 2010, juxtaposed. And so you're trying to go up different stairs to get there. Then they have governmental regulations around helping people find where they're going if they speak different languages. So mobile is perfect for that because it can automatically detect what language you speak based on your settings and provide you that to help them to be able to achieve those government regulations. The other thing is that they have healthcare in the U.S. has lots of money, right? And so they experiment on this kind of stuff. Yeah. So most of our customers are actually hospitals.
If they can find efficiencies, they can save a lot of money.
Right.
You know, and if they can use it for studying, how long does it take a patient to go from here to here with a team of doctors? You know, if you're being rushed from one surgery room to the next, can we make efficiencies that'll save money, right?
Can we get people to arrive on their appointments on time instead of pushing the appointments out, right? That can save costs. So we have about 10 hospital conglomerates that use our system. The next is retail. Obviously, everybody gets that one. Hospitality, hotels. But we have 4 airports right now that we're working with. So we think airports, corporate campuses, that's the Cinderella story, I think, of this year, is that you've got Intel and you've got other corporate campuses where their employees work from home, except for Yahoo. They work from home, and then they might come in and they don't know where they're going. You know, they might need to find some type of conference room, or maybe it's a water fountain or an ATM, and so forth.
But you can see it's a decade before an entire city is going to be indoor mapped like this. You know, it's going to be a while, but it's coming, and it sounds like you guys have a decade of work ahead of you. So congrats on that, and it'll be interesting to watch this space. It's really interesting.
So let me show you real quick the simulator, just so you can see how you might build an app.
Let me see how you could build an app here.
Okay, let's see here. So you built your app, and this is the Venetian app, and so they can actually just within seconds change out the look and feel. So they have different promotions going all the time, and they are able to change that out. But let's say that we want to find out more about restaurants and so forth, and so I'm pulling from a simulator, so it's going to be a little bit slow pulling up. So I can say, okay, I want to look at all the restaurants that are there, right? And maybe I want to look at this one right here, learn more about it, see a photo, maybe see a menu. We can pull from a database of the menus. You can be able to pull from a database of whether you can book from here. And then you hit directions to here. Now, because I'm not there, I need to tell the system where I'm starting from, which is also important for places that don't have sophisticated Wi-Fi. So it's just putting me on the map. And you can see here, it's a pretty map. You can see the detail of the water there on the map. You can scroll in and out if you like.
Now that's what you would want in the Google Glass, and that one piece of it would map to the Glass really well.
Right.
Just tell me where to go. Tell me to take a right at the fountain. Take a left at the McDonald's. And show me a picture of what I'm supposed to be seeing when I'm walking through this place.
Exactly, and we just pull that data in. Now the cool thing also is that it basically slices and dices the directions. And you would think that everybody in the industry would be doing this, but they're not. Most of our competitors are just providing this static map, and it just has like a little route drawn. And we believe that you need to kind of guide the person by their hand all the way there, right? So that's one way that you can do it. Another way you can interact is to actually tap on the map itself. And so like Macy's, they said, you know what? We believe our customers will go straight to the map button, and they'll interact with the these little icons. So this might be a department of a retail store. Here it's a bar, and I want to get more details about it. I can do that, or I can just hit directions. Now if I was there, the system would automatically detect me and put a glowing blue dot on my map. So if I was lost, I could just know exactly where I am.
This is a crazy world, and I can see how that'll map to this always-on world and get me around places. And
yeah.
You know, if I was Macy's or if I was a mall, I would also urge my restaurants to all get open table or something like it.
Yeah.
So I could get reservations right from the glass and have a table all waiting for me when I get there.
Exactly.
Certainly in Vegas, where they have these multi-million-dollar restaurants, that's going to be pretty quick, I think.
Well, also imagine
2-3 years.
What about loyalty programs? So today, like Shopkick, you actually have to, say you're a mother and you got 2 kids in tow. With Shopkick, you have to fire up the app with them screaming and then get your little coupon. With Wi-Fi fencing, you just detect the person if they've opted in. So I don't even have to pull open the app. It will wake up the app every time I walk in the store. And so you'd be able to get all kinds of benefits by visiting the place more often.
Now, and this is where Android is still ahead of iOS, because the Wi-Fi radios can do all sorts of stuff like wake up apps, where Apple really has locked down. I hope Apple opens up, but we'll see.
So we've actually found out a way to wake up the app.
Oh, so don't tell Apple; they might take you out.
We can wake up an app without it being running. So when you walk inside a venue, we can actually wake it up and send you a greeting message.
Can you take me to a web page, a web app? Because a lot of people won't have the Bellagio app loaded on their device.
Right.
But if I walk into the Bellagio, if it can take me to the Bellagio mapping system on the web, boom.
We can't do that.
Okay.
But you have to have the app of some sort.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
that's cool. You just get them to get the app. Where do we learn more about you guys?
So if you go to www.meridianapps.com, learn more about us.
And just real briefly, lastly, how are you guys funded? And tell me about your company a little bit.
So we have about 12 employees. We have $1 million in funding. We took it back in November 2011. We're making quite a bit of money already, where we didn't have to spend all the funding. We have 50 brands that are paying us to license our software platform to make apps or improve ones they have. We have partnerships with Cisco. So we were the first. They looked at all the startups in the space. They have 70% of the Wi-Fi market share, and they chose our software to integrate with their Wi-Fi hardware, so you can use it through them. And then we have a partnership with Qualcomm. And Qualcomm is doing some really cool stuff at the chip level. Right?
They're the ones to watch. They're not in the glass. The glass has TI chipsets, but a lot of the Android-based smartphones are Qualcomm chipsets, and they're already building contextual APIs. They have a contextual SDK called Gimbal that I've done a video on, and it's pretty cool stuff.
You should check out their ISAT platform. So they invited us over to Mobile World Congress a couple years ago, and we went to the Museum of Contemporary Art in Barcelona, and we walked around with these Qualcomm-powered devices where it would actually show you, with our system, the artwork that you were standing next to. Wow. And then you walk next to another one, and the artwork would pop up. Now imagine if that was the experience in a retailer, in a hotel, and so forth.
Very cool. It's a great future coming at us. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks a lot for having me, Robert.
Hey, thank you so much.
Yeah.